Alright, looks like you guys liked the Buff Saga video, so today we're going to go on with our ranked showcases in Vanguard Dear Days, and this time I'm going to be showing off Nirvana. Nirvana is a deck that I personally think, and a lot of people in Japan here think that is one of the best decks in this meta that Dear Days is in, because it is a really strong combo deck with a very solid win con, but I know that it's not exactly obvious why it's strong, and I even had to make a video way back in the day, way back in the day being like 4 months ago, about what makes Nirvana so strong and why it even almost got restricted. But basically speaking, it's a very cool kind of tempo/combo deck that works really smoothly once you know how to play it and pilot it, but I know that some cards might not make sense or you might need extra explanations on, so in today's video we're going to go over that and then take a look at how the deck functions in ranked as well. So here is the deck list itself. We're going to go through the right deck first. Of course, your grade 0 doesn't really matter what you play, they all have the same effect. Then our grade 1, of course, is the Irino. So Irino says when you ride Dedeyu over her, you search your deck for Trickstar, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck, and when she attacks, she gets plus 2k power. And of course, Trickstar is a grade 0 that can now be chosen by your opponent's card effects when he's in the rearguard circle, and you use him to evolve into your various Verina forms. And then when you ride Dedeyu, of course you activate Irino's effect, but Dedeyu says when you ride Nirvana, the grade 3, Chakrabarti Divine Dragon Nirvana, you Soul Blast 1, and you search your deck for 1 Verina, so specifically Verina. It's not a card with Verina's name, but it's the Verina. Reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. And then when she attacks, she also gets plus 2k power as well, which is very nice. So that is the function of Reyu. Basically, she searches up the Verina, and this Verina is this specific one. So this one overdresses on Trickstar. Maybe if I show the basic one, it's easier to understand. And overdress is basically a special kind of keyword/ability that this deck can do, which is to put this card on top of the specified unit, which is Trickstar, instead of calling it to rearguard circle normally. And on rearguard circle, when he attacks while in the overdress state to the opponent's Vanguard, he gets plus 10k until the battle, and then you can Soul Blast 2 to retire an opponent's rearguard, but usually don't use that effect. You just get the power, but don't Soul Blast because you want to keep your soul for something else in this deck, so keep that in mind. And then of course our grade 3 Verina is the one and only. Once per turn, you can discard a card, just choose a grade 0 from your drop and call it to rearguard circle, so you can revive your Trickstars every turn if you need to. And then he has a second effect, which is when he attacks, you can count +1, and then he, as well as all of your units with the overdress ability, get plus 10k power. Important to note here is that they don't have to be in the overdress state. As long as they have the overdress keyword, they will get the power up. But you don't really use this effect so much because this is one of the grade 4 decks where you can actually go beyond just the grade 3 in your right deck and go into the grade 4. Now, grade 4s cannot go in the right deck, so you have to draw into it manually throughout the game by turn 4, and then you'll be able to unlock their very powerful abilities. Keep in mind they don't have Persona Ride either, but you can see here they have triple drive, so they check 3 cards on attack instead of 2, which is huge. So what Mahar Nirvana does is, during your turn, if you have a unit in the overdress state, all your front row units get plus 10k power. So it's a very nice power up, it doesn't cost anything, no counterblast or nothing, and once per turn you can counterblast 1 and put a Nirvana from your hand or soul into your drop. So usually you want to pay the one in the soul because you ride over the grade 3. To choose a grade 0 from your drop, call it to rear, so again, you can revive Trickstar, and then choose your opponent's Vanguard, and if your opponent has 4 or less cards in damage, you deal them 1 damage. So that's really huge because this is a deck that can multi-attack and also deal damage in the main phase, so you can adapt to whether your opponent checks the trigger during that damage ping or not. And now let's break down the other Verina forms that we play in this deck, and there's only 2 others. The most important one that basically makes this deck not run out of cards is Verina Arcs. So this is a card you have to mulligan for because it's very important to play it early, because when you overdress into it, you can almost want to draw 2 and get plus 5k power. So it's literally a pot of greed with legs or wings or whatever you want to call it. It's a really good card. This is a very, very important card that you want to have in your opening hand as much as possible. So make sure to mulligan for it because it's very important to just be that connective tissue to draw into your key pieces. And the other key piece you need to find is the grade 4 Verina, which is Verina Esperoladia. So this overdresses only over Trickstar as well, and when it's placed on rearguard circle, if it's overdressing, you can put all Trickstars as well as all cards with the overdress ability from your drop as this unit's original address, so under the pile underneath. Because for a second skill it says, when your Vanguard attacks, once per turn you can Soul Blast 1 to stand him, and then he gets plus 5k power until end of turn for each of his original addresses, so all the cards underneath. So the important point is that that second ability does not require this card to be in overdress state. You can actually just call it without overdressing and it will still stand for Soul Blast 1, it just won't gain all that power. So the winning image in this deck is to basically be on Mahar Nirvana, ping your opponent 1 damage, and then call 2 copies of Arena Esper ID as your attackers, swing with both Esper ideas, then swing with the Vanguard, and then Soul Blast 1 each to restand these 2 and then attack 2 more times. So you get 5 attacks in 1 turn, which is really strong, and of course is going to be lethal because they're also getting plus 10k power to all of them, if not more. And now we have 2 more key components of the deck that help to make the whole process much more smooth. The first one of which is Retsuji. So Retsuji is a card that you don't use until you go into the grade 4 Nirvana, but then it becomes very important. And this says when you place it on rear, you can almost want to choose a card with the overdress ability from your drop and put it into your hand. But if your Vanguard is grade 4, you cannot charge 1, which means you refund the cost for this card, so you get that card to your hand for free, which is really cool. So he's an important card because that means if we open our Esper ideas early, we can discard them for the right deck and then just bring them back with Retsuji. Or for example, if we lose our Arcs, we can just bring it back from the grave as well. And then on top of that, we have one more key piece, which is Amelia. Now, in Vanguard, you might have noticed that going first is pretty good because you're basically able to Persona ride first, you're able to ride your grade 4 first and all that stuff. But in this deck, if you go second, it's no problem, because Amelia says, if you have a Vanguard with Nirvana in its card name, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can kind of almost want to put this into the soul to choose a Nirvana in its card name from your hand, ride it as stand, and if you roll, you cannot ride by card effects until the end of the turn. What this means is that going second, if, you ride your grade 3 Nirvana from the ride deck, this one, and then, because you're going second, your opponent is already at grade 3. So here you can Counterblast 1 and put the Amelia into the soul to immediately ride the grade 4 Nirvana while your opponent's still on grade 3, or, they've only had the one grade 3 turn. So Amelia is really good because she also provides soul that you're going to be soul blasting out for Verena spell ID as effect, and so overall she's just a very reliable piece. She's only good going second, so if you're going first you can just use her as a random booster or a soul generator, and sometimes there is like a cheesy play you can do where if you're already on Mahar Nirvana at the start of your turn, you can Counterblast 1, burn 1 damage with his effect and call it grade 0, and then use Amelia's effect to ride another Mahar Nirvana, and even though that effect says once per turn, you wrote into a new instance of the card, which means you can use that effect again and actually ping 2 damage in 1 turn, which is very cheesy, but you can do that, so that's important to keep in mind. Then for trigger lineup, of course, we have our Dragon Empire Overtrigger, we have our 4 regular crits, our 4 regular heals, we're playing 3 effect draws, which are the 10k shield draws. We don't need draws that much in this deck because we really need crits to put them on the very nice spell ideas and just push, but the most important card of the triggers is Burning Flail Dragon, because this card in this deck has a very big function because 1, it generates soul for very nice spell idea, so at the end of the battle that you boosted, you can put it to the soul and give a unit plus 2k power. So that's soul, but most importantly, when you have a column of Verena Esper idea and that Retsuji, normally that only makes 21k power, let's say like baseline, right? But if you boost, let's say your Vanguard with Burning Flail, and then give plus 2k to the Retsuji, you're making a 23k column, which means that you're asking for at least 15k shield from your opponent's hand, and in Vanguard, basically, the hand is your HP bar, like in fighting games, right? And if you can clear your opponent's hand, usually that means you're going to win. So pushing for bigger numbers means we're asking for more cards from hand, and that is the most important factor in the game. So with that, that is basically the entire deck wrapped up. Of course, we're running 4 perfect cards, and have to talk about that. But with that, let's take a look at how the deck performs in ranked. Alright, we got matched against someone Dekkapokke. So someone actually using the kanji avatar. It's like the first time that I see someone with it. I wonder if it's gonna be what deck they're using. Oh, you know the strat. Yeah, but I know the counter strat. Let's go. We're going first. So we don't get to show off Amelia this game since we're going first, but damn, what a good opening hand. I think I just tossed Verena and nothing else. Yeah, honestly, like we just need Espel idea, which like hopefully Arcs will help us draw that. Alright, Bruce ride line. Doesn't tell us too much yet. But let's ride up and pass. So let's see. Yeah, it's honestly like a pretty much perfect hand. Next turn we're gonna go into an Arcs, draw some cards, and then our grade 3... Like the one nice thing of going first is that I can show the viewers what a grade 3 Nirvana turn looks like. Without, you know, ride skipping with Amelia, because Amelia literally just skips the grade 3 turn for you completely when you go second. Oh, my opponent has like the VGDD playmat, I think. That's the one I was kind of debating on picking up, but you can't really see it when the cards, like you don't see the DD here when the cards are on it. Running Gunganram, interesting. Would this be Favernil or is it... Oh, it's Chaos maybe. This might be Chaos, that's pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna take this attack. See if we hit a defensive as well. They hit a draw, so even if we hit defensive, it doesn't matter. If anything, I can ditch this crit to guard. Alright, we get hit with a football. We hit a heal, which does not activate. Kind of unfortunate, but it's not the biggest deal. I guess we can ditch the Trick Star to guard with, because I do want to stay on 1 damage. And we can bring back the Trick Stars later down the line. So I think that's fine. Hopefully draw into an Esper idea so I can bring that back with Retsuji down the line. That would be optimal for the right deck discard, but let's see what we draw. Perfect! That's exactly what I needed. Alright, we're gonna ditch that. Basically, you always want to ditch it because you can get it back with Retsuji for free. And it's kind of like the best target to get back after arcs. Alright, only 1 Trickstar left in the deck list now. So let's overdress into Verena Arcs and draw ourselves some cards. Pot of Greed with legs. Doing work. It doesn't even have legs. Draw into a PG, which is nice, because we don't really know what we're playing against. And if it's Barrow, that PG is going to go a long way. So I don't know what they're playing, so I'm going to just swing face. But yeah, my chat is not having it with the fact that I'm streaming during the World Cup games. Oh my god, how could I? Joke's on you, I don't watch the World Cup. Mainly because the time zone is just really bad for me this year. Most of the games happen in the middle of the night here in Japan, so I can't actually watch. Assuming this is... So this isn't Bruce, for sure. But if it's Barrow, it's also Glass Cannon deck, so rushing it usually does the job. Germany versus Japan, I know. As someone living in Japan, I should be interested. And as someone, you know, that also technically borders Germany, my country borders Germany and speaks German, I should probably also care, but I don't know, dude. I'm not that invested. Grade 4 Bruce? Could be Favernil, maybe? Just to have, like, the grade. It's like Drejeweled, which runs the Grade 4 Bruce as well. Yeah, like, this is a Chaos piece, right? Oh, no, it's not. It's actually generic. Never mind. Can I judge by their soul? No, it's just like Ig-Speller. It doesn't tell me anything. Time Jarrett. Swirler. Like, I'm seeing all these, like, Chaos pieces, I guess. That's a crit gone. Oh my god, he's going ham. I have no idea what I'm playing against. This is rare. Like, you can kind of tell what your opponent is playing by, like, the first 2 turns, but I'm just confused right now. Like, I have not the faintest clue about what my opponent is bringing to the table right now. Alright, they check a PG. It's important to know that they have it. Get hit by another football. Emilia, we don't need her going first. She's basically a dead card. Alright, that's going face. I think I'll take that so we're in heal range. And then I'll guard with a Verena. Just to prevent that soul charge from going off. Alright, well, another Mahar goes flying. That's not the end of the world. But yeah, I had a feeling this would go rear. I am not too into that idea, so I'm going to guard that. And then right up, we're going to search out the other Verena copy. And then basically we can develop a nice little board, Counterblast 1. Because you always need to think on the turn 3 if you want to actually Counterblast. Or the Grade 3 Nirvana or not, because that one Counterblast, you might be needing that later down the line. So basically you always have to think about that, like whether you should save the CB and just like swing without using the power boost. But if you see that you have momentum, because this is a tempo deck, so if you see that you're controlling the momentum of the game, then you should continue pushing it further in your favor. But if you're not, then you can let go of the gas pedal, basically. But here, we are, in my opinion, in an advantageous position because our hand is pretty healthy, and we have, like, the resources to potentially, like, push my opponents, like, 3 or 4 this turn, and also ask for some cards from hand, which I think is pretty good. So we're going to use the Nirvana effect here to Counterblast 1 and give plus 10k to itself and all overdress keyword-possessing units, so it doesn't have to be in the overdress state. As you can see, this Verena also got it. It's going to be no guard. We check a crit. So this actually lets us push my opponent to 4, which is huge, and power up the sides. And let's see what we check on the second one. But yeah, sure, if this was Barrow, it would be using the pony. We find another Variant Esper idea, which is huge because this means we can do double Esper idea next turn. And we haven't used too much soul either, so that's also good. Depends on what my opponent's second damage check is, of course. Let's see. But them going to like 3 or 4 is already a good sign for me. Oh, okay, it's gonna be 3. So here what we're going to do is we're going to take out the Selfish Engraver with this Verena, because of course we don't hit the Vanguard anymore. And it still asks for 15k shield, and then try to push my opponent to 4 with this Verena Arcs. And then if we push them to 4, then that means that when we use Mahar Nirvana next turn, they will be pinged to 5, which is of course very good. So here we're going to swing to Vanguard and see if they drop the 5k to guard it. They might just intercept for it. I think that's probably the most logical way to do it. No, they're going to drop the entire heal for it, which I think is fine. Using the effect heals too. So that's okay, we'll push to 3, which means that if we take a damage, we are in heal range. So that's not a bad thing per se. It is Favrenil, wow, okay, so they're not using the kanji, you know, avatar for no reason. Alright, so that means I'm gonna have to retire my Verena here. That's fine. I'm not super against that. What are your grades in Soul right now, my friend? 1, so you have 6, 7, 10. And he's what, 13? Let's see, animal attack, some of the grades is 13 or more. It's surprisingly easy to reach some 13. Dark States, good stuff. We're gonna go over the Dark States. Yes, that's right. No wonder he plays Gungan then. Alright, now these are gonna get powered up, which is pretty annoying. So currently he's at 6, 12... Oh, he's at exactly 13, he got it. Congratulations, well done. 4 cards in hand though, if he goes another one down to 3. He's not gonna. Alright. Will he boost though? He will. 26 is a good number too. Do you gain a crit when you restand? No, it's the beginning of the main phase skill that restands. I kind of want to take this because I feel like because of the restanding Vanguard, he might stack all effects to Vanguard. So I will take this. I know I have PGs, so if it double crits me, it's just over, but I think we're okay. Alright, 2 blanks. That's good news for us. Damn. It's pretty rare to see this skin in rank, to be honest. Or this animation. Alright. Having 3 Brain Swirlers and using Pedal attacks is an experience. Yeah, you have to just like spam press so you don't run out of time while like your Brainwash Swirlers keep getting like 5k. It's pretty funny. Man, we just finished the Dear Day story and I'm already running it back against Favrenil. It's pretty funny. Alright, here I'm gonna go for a cheeky 2 to pass. Let's see, I have... yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2 to pass here. It's a bit risky, but his rears aren't powerful enough to stack everything on Vanguard, I want to say. Alright, checks a blank. Oh yeah, true. It's a single check, so that was actually a perfect guard, basically. Yeah, he does have drive -1, but that's fine. The way we guarded is pretty efficient, so I'm not upset in any means. I think we just take this one, and then intercept with the arcs. Because then we can just set up double Esperal idea and just like push, push, push. Because the quality of his hand is not very high, actually. He checked 3 normal units. So, we should be chilling. And we get a heal. That is exactly what I wanted. What do I have in my damage zone? I have a Mahar. Guess I'll heal the Mahar out. This means he's going to take out my arcs for me, which is fine by me. Yeah, good thing we got rid of that Selfish Engraver. Alright, we will take that. Because I actually want to free up that space. Alright, we have our 2 soul that we can use for the double Verena Esperal idea, which is pretty nice. We draw an arcs actually. I could just do like only 1. You know what? I have an easy way to know what to do. We're gonna use Mahar Nirvana's effect first to deal the damage and see if it hits defensive or not, and then work from there. And we're gonna of course call the Trickstar. He hits a draw. Yeah, this makes me want to go for a more safe gameplay. So basically just do arcs plus an Esperal ID on the side. I think I'm going to go for that instead. So we're going to build up a bit more of a hand and drag out the game a little bit. Not really going for game this turn, looking to survive next turn. Drew OT, not the best, but it's not the end of the world either, to be honest, so we are a-okay. Gonna call this out, and then call out the Retsuji to set up a Verena Esperal idea for next turn. So we're gonna use the Retsuji here to take out the Esperal idea for next turn, then of course counter charges. And then we actually want to call this crit behind this arcs over here, because this will allow us to make this into a 33k column, which is, of course, very nice. So, because you can guard this pretty easily if I swing to the Vanguard, we're going to swing at the Swirler, because that's going to get an annoying amount of power. And then next turn we can just retire the Retsuji for the Favrenil's cost, which I think is pretty nice. Alright, Swirler goes boom, and now I'm still in heal range, so if I check any heals here on this attack, I'm also basically chilling. And we're going to activate the Espral Idea here. And this way, by putting the crit into the soul, we also have the 2 soul for double Espral Idea next turn. He actually perfect guards. Worried about my triple check. I have the 6 cards in hand though. Alright, perfect guard comes out. We find a crit, which is huge. So we can actually give this... Let's see, this is 29, so it'll be 39, which is a 20k shield, which is a little bit annoying to guard, so I think that's fine to give it here. 33 is a 15k, 43 is 25, he runs draws, so it's a bit easier to guard. Let's see if we hit a crit on this last check, though. We don't. Another Espo idea, though, they love me today. Hey, Gamer Troller, thanks for the 2 years of Prime coming through and supporting. By the way, for those of you watching on YouTube, if you want to catch these videos live, you can actually, you know, and get an early preview to my content, you can check out the Twitch streams and, you know, tune in and see what the action is all about. It's a great way to support the content and see what I do. And get an early preview to some stuff, too. Alright, 4 cards left in hand. I think here, we keep him... Actually, no, we don't keep him on 4 because I don't have another Nirvana to damage ping. So if anything, even if he heals or, like, checks an overtrigger on that damage, we actually want to attack to the face here. So we're going to ask for a 15k shield here by using the crit. You make a nice 33, so it's asking for 15 instead of 10, which is very nice. And he takes it. So we take ourselves out of heal range, but it's not the end of the world because of the way that we, like, accept that we're playing this turn, right? Because we already knew that we are playing the long game a little bit, and we're basically going to survive this turn no matter what. You know, we have 2 PGs and an OT to guard with. We are A-okay. So now this Favrenil is going to take out one of my rears, so I'm going to give him up the Retsuji. Don't mind that at all. Theoretically, we could call another Retsuji and a crit next turn if we want to make the same, like, magic number thing. And do it again. So, 5 cards in my opponent's hand. Let's see what they're going to call down to attack with. Gets the extra crit on the Favrenil as well, which, you know, this way we definitely have to guard everything. I think they have not seen their overtrigger yet. No, they've just seen some crits. Alright, they put the grade 3 in there. Swirler again. Telling me that clearing that out was not worth it. So that's going to be a 36 right now. For now, that is. Very much for now. Alright. What is my opponent going to call anything else? Can he use Gungan Ram to soul out some of those grade 0s? Oh, he did soul charge an OT. Never mind. Okay, that's very reassuring to know. Gonna be a bit easier to guard. I can actually drop the OT as guard against this. Oh, he's using Quenlu. So this is a very cool card. You could put it to soul and give a unit one of your rear guards plus 2k. And then basically, then I cannot guard with grade 1 or greater against that rear guard's attacks. So he gave it to this one, I believe. So this one has that effect, so we have to be careful. Which isn't too bad, because like if he sacks like super triggers on it, I can just basically like guard with an over trigger or something. It's only 20k for now anyway, so I'm not really too stressed about it. More stressed about that Vanguard. Yeah, Quenlu is a very powerful card. Ooh, interesting. Choosing to not... Choosing to not boost is very peculiar. Part of me wants to do this and add a add the intercept to it, and then PG, and then take one of the others. I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna no pass this one, and then perfect guard the second attack. And then we can like drop the Espral idea or something, and then get it back with Retsuji next turn. Yeah. I'll try not to take too long thinking. We have to keep in mind that I played a ranked game and I actually timed out on my opponent's turn because it took too long to think about how I want to guard the whole turn during the guard step. So that 1 minute timer just evaporated. Alright, there's the Kalmas 2 coming in for the restand. Alright, here we're going to want a perfect guard, because this is a risky attack, and we can ditch the Esper idea, which kind of reveals to my opponent that of course we have... I think we drive checked that Itsuji, so I think he already knows about it. Probably. He will probably check... Yeah, he's going to put all of this onto that rear guard. That is the case. That is indeed the case. Dun, dun, dun. And it's also nice because he'll basically swing with that rear into the face, which I guard with the OT, and then he'll swing that other rear. Like, that other rear doesn't matter where it swings, because if it goes face, then I can take it. If it goes rear, I can also take it, because the SG gets back the Esper idea no matter what. So it's like, I'm in a win-win position right now, which is very nice. Yeah, he's going rear, and I can just take this. Like, it is no stress for me. So we're gonna no guard, and we have the soul for Mahar Nirvana. The only issue is that we don't have a unit in the overdress state, so we don't get the power on our front row. I feel like it should be okay to burn through this hand a little bit. But let's see. We draw into a Retsuji. It's not the worst, but not the best. Alright. I'm not sure if we're going to win this turn, but we're going to give it a solid attempt. So let's call it the Retsuji. And use the skill. Almost 1. Yeah, some of my Mahars went to damage, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It's fine. Alright. Let's call out double Esper idea, and this will still be kind of annoying to guard, I guess. They're just not going to be huge or anything by any means. So we're going to force these 2 intercepts, basically, and then these 6 cards will have to go to the Vanguard and the 2 restanding rears. And if we check any triggers, it's going to be good for us. So if anything, we're still trading card advantage. You know, we're basically asking for, you know, we're attacking 5 times, so we're asking for at least 5 cards from my opponent between their field and their hand. So, and that is just a game of Vanguard. Like, you're basically trading card advantage back to back to back. Alright, let's swing. We are going to use 2 soul to restand both of these. So it is a bit of an investment, but it's an investment with a purpose. So let's see. Stand on both sides. Gonna perfect guard the Vanguard still. Okay. A little bit spooked, understandably so. They ditched the Selfish Engraver. JSC Average J coming through, supporting the stream as well. Not finding a way to watch the World Cup, but that's fine because you have my content to watch. This is the World Cup. Alright, there's an Arcs. Alright, a pretty dry amount of checks. So, don't know if we're gonna win. There's still 4 cards in my opponent's hand, and they can basically guard these 2 with 2 or 3. So, ooh, that's nice. Ashurda is also a way to build Soul. So that's good. And then we got 3 cards left in hand. If they have a front, they can 1 card guard. If not, it's gonna be 2 cards to guard this last swing. And then we run out of Soul, actually, so we might have to use Amelia to build a Soul for the Esper idea. Ooh, we force a big commitment here. 2 crits. I think... Are all of his crits out now? I feel like they might be. Yeah, there's none in the Soul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 5... Alright, I'm gonna have to lose my Retsuji again. Retsuji! Actually, I don't necessarily need to. I could lose this because I can get it back. So 5... 6... Oh, only 6 crits? That's a bit worrying. How many draws are out? I'm seeing 3? What you got in Soul there, buddy? What'd you put in there? PG? Interesting. I was using Bunganram. There's a draw in there. And then... 1, 2. I think there's 3 heals out. Quite a lot, actually. Oh, that's another crit out. Well, these swings we have to guard. So I think I'm gonna PG this one, and then try to hard guard the restand. He only has 5 cards left in deck anyway. Yeah, I think we PG this one and then try to hard guard the next swing. Let's try that. Alright, let's see where this goes. PG, still good. It feels like all the games against 500 will end in deck up. It's like, is this the kind of game this deck is playing? Oh yeah, he can't restand because it doesn't have 2 CB. So getting rid of that Engraver was actually really big. So that's good news for us. Oh, he might bully my Espral idea here. Yeah, he is. I can actually guard it though, so I'm not too worried, to be honest. Yeah, so here we're gonna just basically guard with both of these, and we can even just drop the arcs. Or we can drop the Retsuji, to be honest, too. Now, Retsuji gets us a card back, so... Oh, he doesn't hit anything with that. Okay. Oh, that's a top deck, a Trick Star. That's actually huge. So this allows us to Retsuji and then just go pretty ham. So we can call this Trick Star and then call it Retsuji. And then the Retsuji's effect, we can get back the Espral idea and then just go. We can get some dedicated wham up in here. Very cool. The big overdress, Espral idea with a power up, 9 cards in the original dress, and then to top it all off, Amelia. We don't ride a Nirvana, but you can just put her into the soul and counterblast 1 to have the soul for Espral idea, which is beautiful. So we can swing this one with the boost because it's going to gain 45k power, so it's going to be 68 68k Verena Espral idea, which is pretty good. Alright, exactly 33. Very nice. Yeah, she can put herself in the soul and just like no target. So that's also very nice. Or I hope I activated the right one. Okay, there's only one I can activate anyway, so there we go. Shwoop. Plus 45, 68k Verena. Very beautiful. So even if my opponent heals on this swing, we can still finish it with the other one, which is great. Hey, there we go. That's a crit. We'll give a crit here, power here. We just want to make sure this swing decides everything. I mean, my opponent can't swing anymore next turn anyway. Unlike decks like Barrow and stuff that actually have ways to like bring back cards into their deck to not deck out, Favrenil doesn't have those tools yet, so very important. And another Espral idea. It feels like I'm playing like 6 copies or something. Keep seeing them non-stop. Alright, great. So now even if my opponent heals on this one, I think they still do have 1 heal left in deck. So I'll let them check it. I will allow them to check it. They have my permission to check it. Alright, there we go. There's a heal, but there's no way you're blocking 68k even with that heal. And the OT is also out. So I appreciate my opponent for not quitting and letting me finish this in style with the 68k 2 crit Verena Espral idea. And with that, that's gonna be game as we seal the deal with Verena and Nirvana. Alright, so there you have it. This has been a ranked match and presentation of the Mahar Nirvana / Verena Espral idea deck. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of the deck, as well as the example game and what decks you want to see next. As you can see, this is what I currently have in my deck collection and stuff being built up. But next we're going to be taking a look at Prison, which is of course another deck that I have quite high confidence in. So now that we're done with the story of Dear Days, we're going to be doing a bunch of these rank fight showcases. And also, if you're a YouTube channel member, I will actually be showing off all of these lists with some comments, kind of explaining what the decks do early to the YouTube channel members, so you get an early preview to the content before these videos come out, if I can speak correctly. So if you want to support the channel and become a YouTube channel member, there are plenty of nice little bonuses on top of everything else. So I'm still going to build more of it, of course, decks. This isn't limited to just this. I'll be building a lot, try to build everything in the game if I can, and definitely get the most bang for my buck out of this game for sure. So if you like this video or these kind of videos, make sure to give it a like so I know to make more of these. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel as well. But otherwise, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.